Hi everyone, this is Jade. Um, this is my first time making a video like this and my first time in a really long time making a video at all, so that was my dog. Betty is okay, come here. It's the first time in a really long time making a video at all, so I'm a little awkward to it. It's kind of weird talking to a camera, but I wanted to make this video and kind of start a thing on YouTube in general because I find social networking incredibly helpful to getting in touch with other members of the disabled community, and so I wanted to kind of put myself out there and say hi and kind of just talk about what I'm going through, because I know that for me, dealing with all the things that I deal with can be incredibly isolating and make me feel very lonely, because I have a really hard time relating to neurotypical people, abled people, and through my journey of realizing that I'm autistic and that I struggle with the things that I do, it has been incredibly helpful to see other people's stories on social media. So I'm already on Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook, WordPress, like I'm kind of on everything because it's my way of reaching out, because I have such a hard time in face-to-face social situations, especially because it's really hard to find other people who are neurodivergent and who are adults and who are women, and yeah, so kind of jumping the gun explaining all of that, but I guess I should start out with I am going through the process currently of realizing that I'm autistic. I am getting a professional diagnosis done just so that I'm able to seek out benefits and get aids and all of that, but it is something that has become obvious to me. I need the professional diagnosis more just for credibility to other people, which is kind of weird, but anyway, but for myself, as I look at the journeys of other autistic people and read their writing and watch their videos, it's become very obvious to me that that is something that someone that I am, and have been since I was a child. And just kind of what got me on this journey was my son, who is 3, got diagnosed with autism about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, and through that process I began researching a lot of things about autism, and having a lot of memories about my own childhood and things that teachers said and relationship struggles that I have had my whole life, and just things that I always thought were really weird about me, and those started connecting to things that I was reading about people with autism, and so I decided to start looking into, I was really scared, but I started to kind of look into things that adults with autism, or autistic adults, sorry, I'm still getting out of that annoying thing that people do where they say people with autism as though it's like a disease, which is really, ugh, but it's just like kind of ingrained in my brain, so please forgive me if I do that. It's not intentional. But I started looking into things that autistic adults deal with, because I thought, okay, well, if this is what autistic kids deal with, and I dealt with all these things when I was little and no one really noticed, I wonder if I'm dealing with the things that autistic adults deal with now. And so I looked it up, and it was like opening a book about me and being like, oh my god, no one ever told me this about myself, and now I understand myself, and I understand why I'm so awkward and have such a hard time understanding social things that other people want me to do, and why I have a hard time making friends, and why I take things so personally, and just things like that. So I started looking up things about adults with autism and relating very heavily to it, and that has led me here to where I am now, which is that I had a professional assessment done the end of last week, and I should know within about a week from today my results. I already know what it's gonna say because I've it's pretty easy to do the research and match yourself up, but I don't know, I'm anxious about self-diagnosis, but I feel like most of the autistic community sees it as viable. It's only the abled community that doesn't see it, and I think it's because autistic people recognize each other, like, because you're around people who aren't like you so much throughout the day, and then you finally see someone who is like you and you're like, oh my god, okay. So I think it's kind of in the same way that I'm also queer, and anytime I meet another queer person, it's kind of like, wow, look, that person's queer, and they don't have to like take a test to tell me that they're queer or something, but like straight people always have questions for queer people, like, how did you know you were queer, or like, and it's just weird. So I kind of see that as not the same thing, but very similar with disabilities and being autistic and things like that. I'm having a really, really low executive function day. My son is in the other room watching cartoons because that's really all I can handle today, and I'm trying to not be too down on myself about it, because I can't really handle much. I kind of started out this morning with absolutely no spoons, so I'm trying to have some grace on myself instead of forcing myself to go out and do things, because that just makes everything worse. And that's part of the process that I'm going through right now as well, is listening to myself and being honest about my needs, which is difficult because we live in a world where our needs are not acceptable or understood, or they're demonized or something. But rather than overwhelm myself like I have for the past week and a half by going out and then having meltdowns at the end of the day and going through a period of shutdown, I'm just letting the shutdown happen, and I'm just gonna deal with it for as long as it's here and trust that eventually it will be over and I will be able to face things again. It's never gonna get easy, but it will get easier, and so I have to have hope for that. So, rambling a lot, but all of that to say hi. I'm trying to think, what are things people want to know in YouTube videos? I already said my name's Jade. I also go by Joy Elliott. Used to go by Cameron, used to go by Kristen. I change my name a lot. It's a personality thing. Some people get it, some people don't, but that's cool. But Jade and Joy and Elliott are all pretty fine. Mostly Jade and Joy, because Joy's my birth name. Rambling again, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm 24, I'm married, queer, have a child. I'm an artist and a writer. I write a lot, it helps me to express myself. I do artwork, and let's see, I like social networking. It makes interaction way less uncomfortable, but I can still connect to people, and so that's really helpful. And I'm going through a period of starting to not feel guilty about that, and realizing that the whole like connecting with people over the internet is bad thing is actually super ableist and pretty classist and pretty just gross. So yeah, those are some things about me. I'm not currently working right now. I'm trying to get disability. But yeah, I love my kid. I love my partner. We live a pretty good life. I'm just trying to find ways to get aids in place so that I can function in a way that I am happier with. And trying to deal with that constant inner critic. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna post this and we'll just see what happens. But hi to everybody else in the community and any people who are on the same journey of discovering that they are autistic. I hope that we can connect and share this journey together. So yeah, okay, thanks, bye.